Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Prasad Sreeram, who is the founder of Cogos, which is India's fastest growing intra-city logistic platform. Hi, Prasad. Welcome to ELI.
Yeah, hi Priya. Thanks for inviting me for this.
I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience and tell us
Okay.
a little bit about what is Cogos.
Okay, great. Hey, hi. I'm Prasad Sreeram, and I'm the founder of Cogos Technologies, which is the parent company of Cogos. We are the largest intra-city B2B logistic network in the country. And currently, we are in more than 450 plus cities across 24 to 26 states. And what we specifically do, Priya, is more on the daily things you see, right? The goods you actually get delivered, the products you use have to be moved across the different locations from the source of production, manufacturing, to all the way to the consumer. There are multiple places, multiple stops it takes, right?
Mhm.
And that's where exactly Kogos helps in enterprises to move these goods across.
Got you. And
Yeah,
a little bit about yourself, as in, what is
sure.
your, where are you from originally, and how did your early life
Yeah.
was, where did you study, and how did you arrive at Kogos? How did you land up in entrepreneurship?
Yeah, it's definitely quite interesting for me and hopefully for other people too. See, my upbringing has been in Andhra Pradesh. My parents have been in education sector.
Mhm.
Fortunate to be a son of them, and after my schooling, I moved to Karnataka to do education in engineering, and I picked up electronics and communications and did it through SIT Tumkur. And while in the college itself, me and couple of my friends who have always been my buddies through the college and through life, we were quite excited to build things.
Mhm.
I know everybody gets excited to build things as an engineer, but we were very excited to build real physical things. And even in college, when most of the guys were trying to build, being an electronics student, I wanted to build something which is really creating solutions,
Mhm.
and a lot of people are trying to solve this through programming skills, right?
Mhm.
So we created while we were in like second year, we created something which was solving problem like unmanned railways gates, or it could be something which would be triggering like a sense of alarm if they find something loud bang or so,
Mhm.
and it would actually trigger out actions in getting into solving, like for example, if there is something approaching at a speed and at a different sound, we would be able to trigger off a gate or an alarm or something, right? So it's quite interesting to build that. And fortunately, our faculty also saw this was, hey, you know what, the students are really building these kind of things, and they helped us out and we won the competition. And that's how my love towards building things actually triggered up, though
Wow.
as a child I had many other things.
Mhm.
uh, but when we did our final year project, like we didn't wanted to build something which was like a small piece of something. We
Mhm.
wanted to actually own something which is an entire solution or a product. I know it's slightly overwhelming for just an engineering grad who is coming in, but
Mhm.
fortunate because of my faculty and as well as my friends, we all were able to build something on mobile technologies, where we created a system way back in 2000 to 2003, which would help in uh, uh, like emergency services,
Mhm.
right? People could actually, based on the situation, like if there is a fire, it would automatically intimate through an SMS. At that time, SMS was the mechanism.
Yeah.
Through an SMS, the necessary departments and also the stakeholders. right? And we also wanted to get onto tracking, and we further created in integrating GPS and others, which was entirely new into the country.
Mm.
So I went on continuing my journey there, and we created one of the India's first GPS device, which was
Mm.
very small, compact. At that time, I think mostly only aerospace companies were using those, and we
Mm.
did not have maps in India in 2002, 2003.
Correct.
So we used to survey of India, take big maps and scan them and create a map. So fortunate to get guidance from all my mentors and others to get through that, and an opportunity to create it. So that's how it started. Then I moved on into semiconductor field. Was fortunate to work with mobile chipset companies, and fortunate to work with set-top box companies. And then I mean, out of blue, I got a call from one of the other entrepreneur, um, who was building a display technology.
Okay.
So I went on to join the team as like maybe fourth or fifth member of the company,
Mm-hmm.
and that, though the earlier ones were also like kind of a startup, but that was more like an small project based system, right? Which was more interesting for a student. But this was a real product which was actually getting in, and this was my first taste into the entrepreneurship. While just before this, me and my friend, we attempted to build something on the digital set-top box, create a local classifieds, so my friend had this idea that we can actually push the ads to the television without a back channel internet,
Mm-hmm.
but be able to get a localized solution for that. Right? We attempted, and that was our first cut into the entrepreneurship ourselves. And within very few months, we figured out that this is big boys game.
Mm.
And unfortunately, though the idea seemed quite interesting in that age, it couldn't take off. So then I joined this company where we created entirely a new display technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phosphor display like plasmas, LCDs, and so on. And I went on to work with them for close to 13 plus years, and moved to Silicon Valley, learned many things, and as well as built many of the products over there. And very fortunate to work with the brightest of minds.
Mm.
But this still had, something that I'm not able to give an impact on the ground level.
Mm.
That was there. So I mean, these technologies were great. They were doing on boardrooms, and this is like world's largest display. We created something like 120 feet wide
Mm-hmm.
displays. It's huge,
Wow.
actually. A single screen, right? But felt that, something at a ground level we have to impact. And my co-founder was my father-in-law. Actually,
Mm.
he was a very industrious person, and he has done several things in his life. And
Mm.
he has managed businesses in Europe, Africa, and India, and he has built his own enterprises before, good, bad, failures, success, everything. So we were discussing on a couple of ideas, and what we wanted to do was to give the maximum impact, right, on the ground. And we felt that there's like agriculture,
Mm.
construction, and transport. These were the three things which had largest number of individual entrepreneurs.
Mm.
Okay. And we figured out that through technology, we had a lot of common interests in the logistics space. And that's how we got into understanding what's happening. And
Mm.
quite interestingly, we found that though Flipkart and others were actually coming up well at the time, e-commerce was picking up. This was
Mm.
in 2014,
Okay.
15 time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what we figured out was most of the merchants, businesses, everybody wants to move online.
Mm.
And even the smartphone revolution, like Android One, was picking up then. And
Mm.
so the smartphones were getting cheaper, and services like Ola and Uber were picking up, shared economy was coming up. But when it comes to the logistics, it was still driven entirely by people with
Mm.
owning small trucks, 1 to 5 trucks. And now for the enterprises, they have to build large teams. Maybe in a bigger cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata, Chennai, it's okay because you would have a density and also you can afford to have more people.
Hmm.
While there is this anguish to actually create a digital economy, right? And it has to go into Bharat, right? It has to go into
Correct.
tier 1, tier 3 towns. And of course, Flipkarts and Amazons were doing some part of that. However, there has been a gap in the service levels,
Hmm.
and these are being fulfilled by the same people who are entrepreneurs, but they don't have the digital skills or the connects, and they don't have the network enough to sustain one particular day. So we started getting on to like APMC yards. We went on to industries. We went on to like e-commerce companies and others, and we saw that this is a huge market.
Hmm.
We always believed, and I specifically believed in one thing, that ideas are great.
Hmm.
Okay, if not implementable, not executable, cannot generate revenue, they are worth to the book,
Hmm. Hmm.
not to be implemented, because it
Right.
would burn out. That's what I have seen in all through my previous companies and other journeys.
Hmm.
So what we did was, we said, though I'm coming from technology background, we
Hmm.
decided that we will go based on the market requirement. We will not build something magnanimous and
Hmm.
thrust it into the market, but we will build a kind of a very initial thing which would be enough for us to run the operations,
Hmm.
learn from the market, and keep building the platform so that we will be able to facilitate the technology transformation in the logistics space. So that's how we started building our Cogos Medha is
What
our application.
What was the initial product?
So our initial product, like everyone else, we thought, hey, you know what, we can probably adopt the same methodology and like shared economy, that everybody can pop up. Hey, I want to move something from place A to place B, or ABC. I need a small truck or something. We will be able to connect both of
Hmm.
them.
Okay.
We quickly figured out that is not a right method for
Hmm.
logistics, because when people are moving across the city. Okay, though there are some corridors, but it is mostly the people moving all across the city, and
Hmm.
the density of transactions are different, as well as, in fact, the person is moving along with the vehicle.
Hmm.
Okay, when it comes to the goods don't move all across the city, especially when it comes to the B2B segment, right? They move in specific corridors, and there is no person or anybody going along with it, and you have to make sure that they're secure enough, and the transaction should be complete with a clear transparency, and there is no price goof ups, right? And the surge pricing and others may be there, but not, because this is a kind of very stable environment going forward. And it's not like per minute you can actually surge up the price up and down and all this, and this is not the model which would be able to scale up. So we pivoted,
Hmm.
uh, to an enterprise solution, because we found that enterprises are the one who is driving the logistics industry,
Correct.
and that is where we can create value and we can create earnings for the truckers. So we completely went on to the B2B space of the entrepreneurs and enterprises, and that's where we started seeing success.
Gotcha. So, one question here. Initial, I think first 10 to 15 years of your journey
Yeah.
was into building things. But then
Yes.
moving on to entrepreneurship, it's a different ball game altogether, because you don't
Yeah.
have to just build, you have to sell as well. Selling is a big part of the entrepreneur's journey.
Absolutely.
So how did you, I think some people are good at building, some people are good at selling. How did you sell your ideas? How did you, you know, approach the
Yeah,
initial
yeah,
customers?
yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you pinned it right. That's what I believe into. Ideas or anything, unless they're sellable, they're not something which need to be taken up, right? So first you have to sell it to yourself, right?
Correct.
Because you're kicking yourself out of a highly paid job. I mean, I was in California, in a Silicon Valley, in top of the top technology companies,
Mm,
with a very high pay, and you want to kick yourself out onto something which would not pay you right now, and you have to build something and prove something, right? First you have to sell it to yourself, right?
right.
Once you're building, of course you would be in a high.
Mm,
However, now this entrepreneurial journey is not simple. It needs a lot of grit, determination, and you should never give up. So never give up is very, very, very important. And for that, the only way it will be possible is to get your family on board. Without your family support, trust me, this is not going to work for anyone. So I had to get in my family, and my wife has been very supportive on this. She
mm,
picked up the job immediately, so that we have some kind of an economic backup. And my parents supported, and of course, being my co-founder, my own father-in-law, so it was very supportive on from that front one too. So we had to pick up shoes, we had to start running on that. uh, what we The one thing which we felt we always had here is we saw the challenge in the market, we saw the pain in the enterprise. So for us, getting to them was not that difficult. However, reaching out to the large enterprises, right, was the initial challenge. And I'll tell you one story. It's very, very interesting story. I
sure.
keep telling it to other people too. So
Yeah.
this happened at Flip. Okay. So I'm just naming them because I'm fine. They're one of our good customers. We go along with them very well. And when we went, in fact, it was my co-founder who went to them. And when we went, they would think, hey, you guys are in Bangalore, and we have plenty of opportunities and options in Bangalore, right?
Mm,
So they were trying to see that maybe we were just coming for just business. So we pitched saying that, hey, no, don't worry about Bangalore. Tell me a location and a place where you really have a challenge, right? And we would love to actually help you there. They
mm,
thought we were just fishing out for some business, right? So they said, hey, I have some challenge in Guwahati.
mhm,
In Guwahati, we've been trying to get a right capacity and a vehicle from past 1 week. We were having some challenge. So, if you want to help, try it out. Maybe try it in Guwahati. I'll give you probably a couple of days time, and you can help us deliver things there. And we said okay, and we were able to place a vehicle within 2 hours. And we went back. We were, of course, it was all physical meetings, right? So we were right there waiting. When we got things, we went back and we said, hey, you know what, the vehicle is there, just let us know which where is the place, which location he has to. They were like completely surprised. They thought we were just joking.
mm,
So he didn't even have the Flipkart location or the hub manager's numbers. So he took it, he gave it to us, the vehicle reported. The hub manager was in Cloud9,
mhm,
because he was actually struggling to actually do something, and the vehicle is right in front of him. But there was a challenge, right? Any of the enterprise generally doesn't do things without an agreement, without a
correct.
formal engagement,
Yep.
right? So we said it's fine, we're okay with it. You guys can go ahead and utilize the vehicle, not a problem for day. So they did it, and they came back to us and said, fantastic, can we actually try it even tomorrow, and can you also help us in Kolkata? I
Mm,
said, hey, wait, this is all great. Now let's actually get into an engagement and an agreement, right?
mhm,
So they were very happy, saying that we did not ask for a price, we did not ask for terms of anything, but we just went on to solve their problem first,
mm,
and then we got onto the table. So they were even today, we have been a great partner to them, and they have been a great customer to us. And at one point, during these big billion days and other things, we actually opened up more than 200 cities just for one customer.
got you.
So what important thing there was, we wanted to get into a place where the customer already had a challenge.
Mm.
Even if I had a 1% success, it is a success. If it's a failure, the customer has already failed. So it's not
Mm.
going to make any impact to him. Of course, we just might not have got succeeded, but it was a tough thing. So it was okay, right? So that's the motivation, that's the challenge we always went. And that's how we actually built this whole company.
Got you. Tell us currently what are the different revenue streams we have, and what's the exact well, because logistic is a huge problem in India.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
almost 25% of
Like
the
ocean.
yeah, so 25% of the logistic goes into waste because there is not enough technology integration, not
Right.
the market is not organized. So it's a big, huge market, lot of problems. So which
Yeah.
of these problems are you targeting right now? And what is your
Hmm.
stream of revenue or different streams of revenue that you have?
So, I mean, we had multiple initiatives, okay, but we're now focusing purely on our core challenges, our core business, in fact. And if you see, we focus, as I said, it's intra-city. Intra-city in city logistics, like in and around the city.
Mm,
Anything which starts and ends in the same day, we consider it to be part of the city logistics. Okay,
mm,
you might start from Bangalore, go to Mysore, complete the activity, come back to Bangalore. We still consider it to be intracity because it is all completed in the same window of the same day. Okay. Now, we predominantly serve the enterprises. So our major revenues are coming through providing them logistic services. Like we create like a network. If you look at like a cellular network, right? So we created a network in and around the city with
mm,
all types of vehicles. Could be a half a ton three-wheeler to all the way to a 32-ton multi-axle vehicle, because there are certain times you might need large vehicles to move between the industrial complex, right?
mm,
So our main stream of revenue is to based on the number of kilometers and hours these are getting utilized, and we charge the customers and we also pay the truckers accordingly. That's our core business.
mm,
Apart from that, during this time, what in 2020, especially during lockdown time, we acquired Porter's B2B business, and we acquired the entire team. That's an entirely another journey we can touch upon.
mm,
And recently we acquired something on the less than truckload. So less than truckload is like a part truck, which is very interesting for many people, and it's also a technology challenge, honestly speaking, because you might be getting 10 different part loads and you need to deliver it to multiple places,
mm.
combining them, getting onto one particular route or maybe multiple routes. So this is all very, very interesting solution, right?
Correct.
But we picked up one major problem in the market, and we're trying to solve that problem initially there. So these two are the main streams for us as a revenue, and we are doing this day in day out. And for us, opening a city and closing a city is not a challenge for us. We open any city for any of the enterprise based on their requirement. That's how we spread ourselves across the country.
Okay. Uh, what is the underlying technology that enables the whole operation? Is there any AI or anything like that in play?
There are parts of it. I would not say it's entirely driven out of AI or anything. Yes, we do some parts of utilize some parts of it for our internal processing and routing and other things.
Mm,
But what we are looking at predominantly is a set of workflows and processes. That's what it is mostly initially, right? So each customer based on their requirement, because there may be a customer who is an industrial person, there would be a customer who is just a farm to fork grocery, right? There are customers who are e-commerce, which is fashion, technology, and cosmetics. There are customers who are actually in medical supplies, right? So each one has a different workflow and different requirements, right? So there are what we have created is like an ERP system for our own thing, for our and we call it as Medha, where we created technologies to onboard the fleet digitally, right? We will be, and also onboard people and everything, verify, validate everything digitally through government databases and others, right? That's what is helping us to get into any nook and corner of the country, okay, and operate remotely without having an office or a presence there. And once we get those orders for us and we created those workflows, everything then is automated, right? The vehicle is assigned to that specific thing, the vehicle reports, it does the workflow. There is a very clear app which actually helps them what are the steps to be done. There are training videos for the people in their native language. We support, I believe, more than 10 to 12 languages we support today in our apps. And this helps the truckers also to easily navigate. And places where there is no internet facility, sometimes lockout, there is SMS options also. They can simply, with just one SMS, they can start the journey and stop the journey. So it's all, this is what is in the background. And so we integrate with multiple sensor devices, GPS providers, and as well we have like customer web portal where they can place their order, track their order, and even raise a dispute and get it resolved right there. And for the partners, this is becoming their tool to manage their own business. Important, we call partners in all the trucking people, we call them as our partners. Partner is the one who may be owning not just one vehicle, maybe multiple vehicles. And for him, it becomes quite challenging to see if their vehicles are actually turning to the job, how much fuel they have spent, is the job is completed to the satisfaction, how much money has been, revenue has been generated, how much should I pay to the drivers if I am. This is all now being managed over paper, pen, or maybe over a phone or something. Now this all is managed through our partner application. So this is for it's like a tool for running their own business, actually. So this is what is helping us. And we have impacted more than 18,000 truckers so far. And we love to take it this to up to 50,000 to 100,000 truckers as we move on. We are there in farther northeast corner of the country to the southwest and north. So we have been covering major portions. And so far it has been like, wherever the enterprises required some help, we were actually getting in there, getting things. So there may be some transactions in a city, then there may not be any transactions in that city, and again it might come. But now what we are trying to focus is to create an excellence in each and every city, so that as we have these multiple customers, we should be able to stitch out something which will be creating like a network across, and transactions can happen in each and every city every day. So that's our next step.
Got you. So almost up with the time. So just one more question left. Tell us, what is the meaning of entrepreneurship for you? How would you define the term entrepreneur, or who is an entrepreneur?
I believe India is full of entrepreneurs, right? A small vendor person who is trying to run his own business to the mighty giants having multiple businesses. There are many, many entrepreneurs. I believe entrepreneurship is something where you are not just giving a solution to the problem, but you're also creating an opportunity for someone to earn, right? And you're also creating an opportunity in the market to solve a particular problem. And entrepreneurship is something has to be taken up with pride. And without entrepreneurship, I don't think anything is successful in the world, right? Everybody is an entrepreneur that way when it comes to building something, or maybe supplying something for the entire cycle to run. So that's what I see.
Awesome. So on this note, we'll end the session. Thanks for your time, Sriram. And it was a pleasure to have you on our platform, and our best wishes for Cogos.
Thanks a lot, Priya, and best wishes for you guys too. Thank you.